Gennia Grimes, aka Purple Doll, was that girl. A bold, beautiful, black girl magic in motion, literally. In 2021, she danced her way into the hearts of millions after going viral during a high school football game at Atlanta's Benjamin E. Mays High School. Her performance, electrifying. So good it caught the attention of celebrities like Janet Jackson herself. And when Access Hollywood came calling, Purple Doll made sure the whole world knew this was her moment.
There you go. You better get it, girl. That is 16-year-old Gennia Grimes working at her high school football game in Atlanta.
I love that they're called the Raiderettes.
Gennia told us it was only the second time she's done the choreography, and the crowd loved it. Did you see that extension? Get it made out.
It makes me feel great. Like, really being the size that I am and, like, how I'm able to embrace it and dance the way I want to dance and don't let my weight get in the way of, like, dancing, doing what I actually love. It makes me feel great. And I get a whole lot of compliments after the game. When I went back to school, everybody was talking about it and they were saying how good I did. The next game is homecoming, so, like, I really gotta show out. And I have to come with something new. I have this trick of mine that I do where I stand on my elbows and I move my legs and I come down to a split. I will be doing that.
But this wasn't a one-hit wonder situation. Grimes had plans. She took her talents to Alabama State University, joining the iconic Honeybees Dance Squad, a team known for showcasing big, beautiful, black women who could dance circles around anyone, regardless of size. Confidence, check. Talent, off the charts. Presence, unforgettable. Purple Doll was the kind of woman who lit up every room, every timeline, and every stage. Her presence was captivating. Her smile lit up every room. She wasn't just a performer, she was magic, and everyone who met her knew it, including Rogers McCloud Jr. They started dating at Alabama State when he was still pretending to be the next big thing in football. But while Gennia was blowing up on the field, on social media, and in life, Rogers was quietly flopping. His football dreams fizzled, his grades tanked, and he packed up his cleats and transferred to Tuskegee University, just 30 minutes away. But don't get it twisted, he stayed right on her heels. Because nothing bruises the ego of a mid-level, insecure man more than watching his girlfriend become the main character. Gennia was still in school, still dancing, still thriving. Meanwhile, Rogers was stewing in Tuskegee, watching her shine from the sidelines. Jealousy doesn't always look like rage. It sometimes hides behind passive aggression and insecurity. But even through the immaturity, the mood swings, and the mother-son trauma bond, Gennia stuck it out. They had a baby, and like many women in Too Deep, she tried to hold it together. Tried to keep the peace. Tried to make it work. What happened next didn't make headlines the way her viral dance did, but it should have. Because when you mix a rising star, a controlling man-child, and a mama who should have cut the cord 15 years ago, you don't get a fairy tale. You get a tragedy. One that no one saw coming. Not even Grimes. Welcome to the American Crime Femicide channel. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for future uploads. By spring of 2024, Purple Doll was doing what most 21-year-olds wish they were doing, thriving. She had just wrapped up her third year at Alabama State University and was on a quick school break, laser focused on her next chapter. Viral fame? Been there, done that. In high school, she had already danced her way into history books, snatching hearts, headlines, and even a nod from Janet Jackson. But Grimes wasn't chasing clout anymore. She was chasing a law degree. The plan? Become an attorney, work for the FBI, run the world before 30. And just for fun, she was training as a lash tech because why not be booked, busy, and beautiful all at once? Then, just days after her 21st birthday, she gave birth to her first child, a baby boy. A joy to everyone who knew her, and a front row seat performance for none other than Ayanna, the grandmother, the matriarch, the unofficial family press secretary. Ayanna made sure the whole world knew she had a grandson, and more importantly, that it was her grandbaby. If there was a ring light and a reason to post, Ayanna was there. Meanwhile, Rogers was unraveling. He and Gennia had started dating back when they were both students at Alabama State. But while she was climbing, he was sinking. Football dreams, crushed, grades, trash, support, gone. By 2024, Rogers had quietly transferred to Tuskegee University, a short 30-minute drive, but a world away from where he used to stand next to Naya, who was now thriving without him. And that success, that spotlight, that momentum ate him alive. McCloud watched the woman he once thought he'd outshine become the star of the story. While he scraped by, she was still dancing, still pushing forward, still admired. He wasn't just insecure, he was jealous of her drive, of her discipline, of her ability to handle motherhood and school and ambition, while he was stuck standing in her shadow with nothing to show for it but a bruised ego and an over-involved mother. Their relationship was a hot mess of on-again, off-again dysfunction. Co-parenting had turned into co-surviving, and despite barely being together, Rogers still felt entitled to her time, to her energy, to her money. Gennia, drained and done, had one plan: get her degree, pack up her baby, and head back to Atlanta where peace and family waited. But just before she could break free, Rogers pulled her back into the chaos. On March 26th, Grimes asked her family for help with a small tuition balance. They came through like they always did, but by the next day, the money was gone. And who had access to her phone, her account, and her daily life? Ding, ding, ding. Rogers. When Grimes confronted him, things escalated. According to her mother, Angela, the last time she spoke to her daughter, Grimes was upset, emotional, and shaken by Rogers' response. And then, just like that, silence. The next day, Angela got the call no parent should ever receive. Her daughter had left this world by her own actions.
Gennia Grimes made a huge splash wherever she went. This is her Mays High School graduation in 2021. She was always a show-stopping dancer who knew how to dazzle a crowd. After leaving Atlanta, she went to Alabama State University and danced with the Honeybees dance team. She was known as Purple Doll and Strawberry. Her mom says she has lost her best friend.
She just had big dreams. That was my heart. Anybody can tell you, oh, we were like twins.
Authorities tell the family Gennia was riding in a car last week with a friend when a gun went off. Angela says the friend initially told Montgomery County deputies a 21-year-old killed herself. Now deputies tell the family they are working it as a death investigation. The family says they pray the truth will come out.
Do you think your daughter would kill herself?
No. She wouldn't even touch the gun. She was afraid of guns.
9 months ago, Gennia added the title of mom to her accomplishments when she gave birth to her son, Rogers McCloud III. But she went back to school determined to follow her dreams and keep dancing and one day become an FBI agent. Her family and friends say they won't stop until justice is served.
full of life, full of energy. As you all just said earlier, super flexible, you know. She was a honeybee, which is a big girl dance line at ASU, but size does not matter. It did not stop her. She was splitting, pirouetting, doing all the things that any ballerina can do. And I think that's what allowed her to really stand out.
And Mom Angela tells us that Gennia was actually up until 3:30 in the morning rehearsing the same day that she died. Her mom says she loved the stage and had a performance the next day and wouldn't have let anything stop her from being at that performance.
The problem? No one who actually knew Grimes believed she left this world by her own actions. She had just become a mother. She had just secured tuition. She had plans. She was optimistic, focused, determined, and suddenly she's gone? Absolutely not. Especially when you factor in that she was right-handed, and the gunshot was to the left side of her head. Especially when Rogers' first call after the shooting wasn't to 911, it was to his mother. And especially when the couple was found on the side of US Highway 80, in a location that seemed awfully convenient if you were, say, looking for a quiet place to dump a body. Speculation became suspicion. Suspicion became fury. And on April 4th, after a week of public pressure, community outrage, and relentless demands for justice, McCloud was finally arrested. The sheriff's department released a statement calling it a domestic violence case and confirmed what so many had already feared. Purple Doll was murdered by the man who couldn't stand to see her win. As for Ayanna, crickets. The same woman who couldn't stop posting baby photos suddenly had nothing to say. She cut off communication with Angela, refused to help coordinate funeral attendance for the baby, and clung to silence like it was dignity. But now that her son's been arrested, maybe she can stop trying to manage optics and start facing reality. Maybe she'll realize that enabling weakness, jealousy, and violence doesn't make you a strong mama. It makes you complicit. Because Rogers didn't just steal Gennia's tuition money. He stole her life. Then he lied about it. And when it all fell apart, he called Mommy, not the police. Now Purple Doll's friends and family are left grieving a daughter, a mother, a friend, and a rising star. A woman who danced with fire, lived with grace, and deserved to see all her dreams come true. May Gennia Grimes rest in peace, and may those who failed her face every truth they tried to bury.